This is from the Bleacher Report, predicting NFL's most surprising cuts of the 2022 offseason. And they list Jarvis Landry as one. Cap hit 16.4, savings would be 14.9. Nationally, that might be a surprise. Locally, I think it's pretty split. I don't think anybody is certain that Jarvis Landry is coming back. And it might not be the Browns' decision. It might be Jarvis who really asks not to come back. Nobody knows if he really wants to be back. I think the thing that I would struggle with is that cap hit for a guy that's an inside guy, a slot guy. That's a pretty high number to pay a guy that's a number two. Now, he's a really good number two. He does a great job, and there are a lot of things he does well, but you still need an outside threat that's usually the big money guy.
Yeah, he's a good complementary player. He's not what he was in Miami, obviously, and that's because Stefanski likes to run 2 and 3 tight ends at a time. They clog up the same space. Landry goes across the middle. That's where the Hoopers and Njokus and Harrison Bryants of the world, they live off of too. But I don't think he is on this roster come September unless he takes a pay cut, which I'm all for every single player that ever plays professional sports getting their money. And if he does not want to restructure and take a smaller deal, then you cannot simply pay him almost $17 million to put up, I think he was like the 60th or 63rd or whatever he was. He was very down low on the list this year, had a down year, struggled with injuries for the second year in a row. I don't think he's on this roster unless he takes a massive pay cut because he does do things well for us. But at the same time, if you have to cut bait with him, maybe he wants to go somewhere else. Maybe he wants to revitalize his career somewhere. You guys talked earlier, the Tennessee Titans are someone that could trade for him. If he's traded, that would be a little bit better because we get some sort of asset in return. But he would have to restructure elsewhere, like Mary Kay said, because no team is going to want to take on almost $17 million for a receiver who's not a number one receiver.